Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new F1 22 esports video. This is round 3 around Silverstone. Last time out was Imola, round 2, and round 1 was Bahrain. And as you guys might know, those 2 rounds didn't go great, not perfectly. But we hope that we can turn the tides today around Silverstone, even though, as some of you might know, Silverstone is probably my worst track on the F1 esports calendar. But as it was an event 1, I have managed to spend an unholy amount of practice on this track. I think at some point I literally spent 2 weeks straight just driving laps around here and testing every single thing possible. So I hope that this time out we can make it into Q3 for the first time in Silverstone. 2020 when I won the championship, I qualified P17. We still did end up in P9 in the race, and in 2021 I qualified in P14, and I think I also finished P9. So I hope today we can do a little bit better after that crazy amount of practice I've done. As you guys can hear, there's no sound available, no engine sound. Just like last round, no engine sound, because it was just not set up properly. So I think from next event on it's there, but I can't say for sure. I haven't looked into it yet. I did see some later videos from the F1 Esports calendar where we did have sound. So yeah, Q1 right now, our first run of Q1. Apart from the outlap we did on Inters, and you can see everyone is on the track around the same time. Everyone wants to go out as late as possible without losing their last run in case they do need it. Most people want to do a single lap in Q1 because you only get 5 sets of tires. You ideally want 2 new sets of tires for Q3, and then you either need to save 1 set in Q1 or Q2. So that is always the aim. However, this is not possible for, I think, 90% of the grid, especially this year as it's so close. You just have to go out for 2 runs usually. But we're going to try and do it in 1, as always. But Q1 is not our strongest part of the game. Through turn 1 we go. Easy flat turn 2 as well, and then down to this medium speed right-hander, and then into this low speed left-hander, all 4th gear. She tried to get the power down as early as possible. Basically the whole section is just about carrying entry and minimum speed, and that final one you want to carry as much exit speed as possible. But it's all a combination, of course. Into this left-hander, easy to lock the left front. Through this right-hander, important to keep the speed up throughout the wall corner. And then get a good exit, because it's such a long straight. This, I think, might actually be the longest straight, if you count this next right-hander as flat out. Unfortunately, on this game, it's not. I think in real life they did manage to do it flat out. It's just on the game, the high-speed corners are just so much slower. Through maggots and baggots, 6th gear, briefly down to 5th, and then on the power early. DRS open. Marcel Kiefer goes to P1 with a 26.485. Into Stowe we go. 6th gear usually. Trying to nip that inside curb to get rotation, but don't take too much because it might unsettle the rear. Into final chicane we go. 4th gear. Clip the inside curb a little bit to get rotation. Same for this right hander, and then get the power down. This exit is so hard to get right. And it's not a great lap, 26.692 over 2 tenths behind Marcel Kiefer. You can see we're only in P14. So yeah, we had to go again, basically. Barry Bormand in P15 was basically fighting for pole positions in the passenger race. Is suddenly now in P15. So this final qualifying or Q1 lap is going to be crucial for us to get right. Otherwise, we're once again going to have to start from P17 into this next right-hander. We went a little bit deeper compared to our first Q1 run, but we're just attacking it a little bit more. You know, if we want to gain 2 tenths, it's basically like 200s in every single corner. Actually, a little bit less. And that's all you need to do, but that's easier said than done, of course. To gain the 200s, you have to drive so much more on the limit, which invites mistakes. Now through the next right-hander, you can see again a few hundreds gained, and this lap is getting hooked up nicely at this point into Cops. We're once again going to try and find a few more hundreds, a little bit of understeer on the entry, but we managed to gain a few thousandths of a second. Maggots and Baggots, one of the easiest corners to get wrong, but it's very satisfying if you do get it right. 5th gear, early on the throttle, and once again 2, 3, 400s gained. And we're 2 tenths up on Danny Beresney, as you can see in the top left. And this is a very good lap so far. However, the lap is not done just yet. You need to get the complete lap together. Again, Trusto, 2 300s found. And into the final chicane, we can take it a little bit easier because we know we are going to get it into Q2 here. We've dropped to P15, but with a 2.4 tenths, we jump up to P3. And that will secure us into Q2 pretty easily. However, a lot of people did not go out for a second run. The likes of Marcel Kiefer, I think Lucas Blakely, Thomas Ronhaar all stayed in. Freddie Rasmussen did go out again, and he is improving. And yeah, Freddie is one of the best around Silverstone. I think it's one of his best tracks. He got pole in 2020 and 2021, maybe even 2019, I'm not sure. But as you can see there, he still got it on this game as well. Our teammate Danny Moreno comes across the line, can't improve, and drops out in Q1. And yeah, it's just so incredibly close. I mean, P18 to P2 was 2 tenths, I think so. So yeah, that's incredibly close. First run of Q2 here. We've done a lap on a used set of tires already. But this is our first lap being done on a new set of tires. And we're 1.2 tenths away from Freddie Rasmussen. We slot into P3 with some people still having to finish their lap. As Thomas Ronhaar shoots to P1 with a 0.126. We're P5 going into this last run. But if we want to go into Q3, we're definitely going to have to improve. Because track evolution is quite a lot around Silverstone usually. So once again, we're going to go into Q3 with a single set of tires. Not ideal, but it is what it is. We just have to gonna go on with it. We have to try and get into Q3 in the first place before we worry about sets of tires. Anyway, through the first section we go, 400s gained, and we just need to try and do the same as in Q1. We're currently in P5, if we just keep finding a few thousands, hundreds in every single corner. If anything, it will come down more to thousands than hundreds. Because, yeah, if it's so close together, then it will come down to thousands. And you will see that a lot this year in qualifying, where people going through into Q2 or Q3 is going to be decided literally by thousands of a second. And Silverstone is one of those tracks which is very, very close usually. And there was a little bit of hesitation going to Maggots there on the turn, and a little bit wide on this final one, but still we're 1.1 tenths up. Everyone is improving all the time. Joni Tormela just jumped up to P7, but we're 1.4 tenths up on him. So we need to find a little bit more time in this last sector ideally, but we have a little bit of margin to play with. We've dropped down to P11 with still around 3-4 people to finish their laps, but this 1.5 cent improvement looks very good, and we're going to jump up to P4 with only 4 people still having to cross the line. We have made it into Q3 for the first time ever. And you can see there, Marcel Kiefer in P14, who was comfortably through into Q2 on a single set of tires. And that just shows you have to perform in every single qualifying this year, because every single mistake is so crucial. And that's what I'm talking about. Just having to find that 100 in every single corner, it just invites mistakes. But that's the difference between a good lap and a great lap, because you need to drive a great lap to get into Q3 here. And luckily we did manage to do that. We have hooked it up every single time so far, apart from our first Q1 lap maybe, but from there on it was all very, very solid. And even though heading into this final Q3 lap, or in this qualifying in general, with a bit of a disadvantage, knowing that I'm not great around this track, we're still doing very, very well so far. However, this is the lap where it's going to count. The final Q3 lap, 1 set of tires remaining. We're currently in P7, which is on a used set of tires, which honestly doesn't matter. It's just all going to come down to this final lap. This is the one where it has to be done, even for the people who have done a lap on a new set of tires already. Into turn 4 we go. 1.5 tenths up already, but that's on the U compared to the U set of tires. And the track is on its fastest. The first to cross the line, I think, is going to be Nicolas Longuet, who is very quick around here as well. We're 1.1 tenths up on Sebastian Job. I'm not sure if that's on a U set of tires or new. A lot of people have invalidated as well their first run. But yeah, we're going to have to be aiming for a 25.8 or 25.9 around there. And so far in Q1 and Q2, the fastest we've done is only a 0.2. So this is going to have to be quite the improvement. The pressure is on, and we're going to have to nail it through maggots and baggets we go. A little bit low on minimum speed there, but the exit was very, very solid. Into the final sector we go, 1.1 tenths up on Sebastian Job. We've dropped down to P9, which honestly doesn't matter. We just need to hook this final sector up at this point to try and somewhere get it in the top 5. Freddie Rasmussen currently on pole position. Barry Bormont only goes P6 with a 26.041. Across the line we go. It is going to be a 26.085, and that's just not enough. That's just too slow. As I said, we're going to have to aim for a 0.9 or a 0.8. And yeah, we're only like less than a tenth away from P2, but that's just how it is on this game. Yeah, to be honest, it's not great, of course, but at the same time, it's my best qualifying ever around here. I knew that it was going to be very, very hard. I feel like I hooked it up pretty well. However, into the race we go then. And we're going to be starting on the mediums, where that is very unusual, as you can see there. The entire grid is on the hards, apart from Manuel Biancolila in P19. We're going to once again do the opposite to the entire grid and try and do the impossible. Hard medium is obviously the fastest strategy. However, we want to go offset, and we have confidence in a race pace that we can make up for it in clean air. It's going to be lights out, and away we go. And you can see off the line, it's quite a lot better start than Patrick Sipos. I hoped it was going to be a little bit better, so we would have been clear into that right-hander. However, we're going to go around the outside into turn 3, all the way around the outside. We get pushed off a little bit. Barry spins and is out of this race before it has even started. And now, up to P7 we go. We're fighting for P6 here. Straight away in Sector 1. We're going to go in the attack once again to Luke Smith into this left-hander. We send it down the inside. We've got so much more grip. Can we go all the way around the outside in this long right-hander? We can't quite pull it off. We try to squeeze through on the exit, but on that exit, or all the way around the outside, there's just not enough grip. And we have to settle for P7 for now. However, if we want to make the strategy work, we're going to have to make moves fast. Because that's the whole aim of the strategy. Trying to gain positions in the opening lap. And then hope I can somewhat survive once we go on to the hards. Anyway, we're going to go on the attack once again on this straight. I forgot the name of it, to be honest. It's I know the name, but I forgot it for a moment. Into Still we go. And now we're behind Nicolas Longuet once again. We're going to have to wait for a little bit with making a move, because there's no opportunities in this final section of Sector 3. And also no opportunity in Turn 1 or 2. However, Turn 3 or 4 might give us the opportunity to go for a move once again on Nicolas Longuet, who is on the hards, of course, just like everyone else. And we're going to go for a little send down the inside. He gives us just about enough space to go down the inside. And that was beautiful racing, to be honest. He gave us exactly enough space on the inside. But once again, we're going to go for it down the inside. Last time out, it didn't work on Luke Smith going down the inside here. However, we're going to try it once again. But this time we're going to do it different. We're going to go for the switchback and go for more exit speed so we can duck into the slipstream. And we're going to go down the inside in cops with the help of the overtake button and the slipstream. Up to P5 we go. And it's 4 positions gained in the first 1.5 laps of this race. And now we need to try and keep that battery up as well. But of course, we need to make moves fast at the same time with these mediums as well. Unfortunately, we just couldn't get past Lucas Blakely, who is the championship leader right now on 50 points. He won in Bahrain. He also won in Imola. Lap 9 now, or end of lap 9. we are going to be boxing at the end of this lap. That's why I used quite a bit of my battery there to just close up on Lucas Blakely. However, time to box and go for the hards. And the big issue with the strategy is that it's just so slow to warm up the tires around here. You're on the hardest compound, which is the C1, which doesn't help as well. Harder rubber takes longer to warm up, of course. But yeah, it just takes so long in this game, and you lose probably around 2-3 seconds to the people who are actually driving on that tire out on track, which is just so much. 2-3 seconds. Even if you, once they're warmed up, you gain a second per lap, that takes another 3 laps before you catch up to them, and that's why we boxed a little bit early. But I wouldn't be surprised to see some medium runners, some desperate people try to go for some desperate strategies and box at the end of this lap already, for example, onto mediums. So that could hinder us a little bit. However, we're going to have to wait and see, of course, how their tire wear is. I think boxing at the end of lap 10 for mediums is a possibility. However, I don't think it's a very competitive strategy. So I think it's better to do the strategy we are doing than that. Ideally, of course, you do hard medium and you box like lap 15, 16, 17. That's the fastest way to do it. However, you need track position. And if you lose too much track position, then that means you are going to be out of the race, basically, even if it means you've got the faster strategy. You need to be ahead of some people. As for Fabrizio Donoso in the Ferrari, sets the fast lap of the race. Barry, who spun out in lap 1, is boxing together with Brendan Lee. As you can see there, they're both going on to the mediums. And they're going to be quite a lot faster, of course. Our tires have warmed up by now. And yeah, this was a painful lap to drive. However, now we should be faster and quite a bit as well. So we're going to be pushing it on this next lap and see how much time we can gain back from the damage of the outlap, because Brendan was nowhere near us before the pit stops, and you can see he just gained like 2 seconds just because it took us so long to warm up the hards. And however, our tires are warm now. His tires are not warm yet. However, the mediums do warm up a little bit faster, which does help. But yeah, we just are going to have to set some purple sectors, which is just what we have done. Purple sector 1. And at the end of lap 11, we do set a fast lap of the race with a 29.2. A lot of people boxing. And as you can see there, we have lost out overall compared to Nicolas Longuet, because he was behind us and now he's come out ahead. So he is on cold tires though, and the same for Lucas Blakely. So we're going to go in the attack straight away and use advantage of their cold tires. Nicolas is obviously going to go defensive, and we're going to go down the inside in this next left-hander. And he is on cold tires this time around, so we're going to have a lot more grip. However, that inside just has so much grip compared to the outside. And even though he's on cold tires, there's nothing we can do. I tried to keep fighting it, but however, it just wasn't smart to keep fighting a battle you're eventually going to lose anyway, because he's on a new set of mediums and we're on an older set of hards. So he's obviously going to be faster for at least the next 6-7 laps. So yeah, I decided to give up on that, and maybe we can do something later on in this race. I'm using a little bit more of a battery to try and keep up with Nicolas. As yeah, we're still fighting other people ahead of us as well, of course. And I was hoping that by not fighting him any longer, losing us time, we can maybe get some of those guys with the undercut. But as I said, there's not much of an undercut with these tire temperatures anyway. And I am struggling a little bit to keep up in the corners with the Alfa Romeo and the McLaren ahead. Sebastian Job comes out ahead of Lucas Blakely, who boxed ahead of Lucas as well. But as I said, there's no undercuts. But Lucas's tires are warm now, and Sebastian Job's tires are still cold. So Lucas is going to go for a move here on Sebastian Job in an attempt to get P3, and that's P3 here. Lucas goes around the outside there, does pull it off, And Sebastian on those cold tires couldn't do much. Start of lap 40 now, the leaders have come into the pits for a new set of mediums, and they're going to be the fastest towards the end now. They've boxed on the ideal laps. Still a little bit early maybe, but however, the end of lap 13 compared to like the end of lap 10, like Brendan did, for example, they're just going to be much, much faster. So this race is going to be between Freddie Rasmussen and Thomas Ronnar, I reckon, which is in some way good for us. We know we're not going to score great around Silverstone in the first place, so we might as well see someone else than Lucas win, of course, because if we want to stay in this championship fight, then we need people to take points away from Lucas as well, of course, which is easier said than done. However, lap 15 now, I decided to not defend against Brendan here because he was faster. I was struggling to stay in the DRS of Nicolas Longe, and as you can see in the bottom left, we only had 7% battery remaining. And yeah, I just needed someone to get past me so I can like hook up to the back of them again. And that way we can keep getting DRS, because that's our main aim at the moment. For the next 6-7 laps, we're not gonna overtake anyone because we are simply gonna be slower on this set of hards. All we're trying to do is damage limitation. And that's just what we did. You can see, bottom left, we have managed to get some of that ERS back. 40%. We're on across the line. Brendan Lee ahead of us is flashing, and that means he's under 10% battery. And that is crucial for us. That is very important. His tires are slowly dropping off. And he is slowly but surely not being able to stay in the DRS anymore. Because you can see the gap to Nicolas Longe now is around 8 tenths. And with Brendan, his tires being 1 lap older than Nicolas, that means his tires are also gonna fall off the cliff 1 lap earlier, because doing 15-16 laps on a set of mediums is the absolute limit. And you will be hitting a cliff around the last few laps. But this was the strategy we were kind of hoping them to do as well. Because this way our strategy could work a little bit better. Because we, of course, boxed earlier, the hards managed to stay in a better tire percentage, you know. We still have quite a bit of rubber left. However, Brendan is on the canvas of his tires, and he has just dropped out of DRS, and that is very important for us, because even though I was sure we were gonna get him on this last lap anyway, it just makes our life a lot easier. And we saved another like 10% battery on that lap, because I was just planning it all to save it up for the last lap, because that's when we're gonna have the biggest advantage on this strategy, on the last lap, on these hards that are lasting much, much longer. And we're gonna get DRS here. Brendan is not. And this is gonna be a very, very easy pass with the help of the overtake button and DRS. Down the inside we go. We're gonna be completely passed into Brooklyn's, and that is P6 after starting P9. And this is a crucial few corners of our race. I can see Nicolas flashing there on the entry of that right-hander, and that means he's under 10% battery, and he's also on a worn set of mediums, and he's also not going to get any DRS from Sebastian Job, because he is struggling on those tires as well. And that means we have an opportunity here after Maggots and Baggets on the final DRS rate of this race. We're going to turn on the overtake button once again on this exit. We're going to get DRS. We're going to get a lot of slipstream. And we're going to have a lot of overspeed into Stowe. And up to P5 we go. However, there's still one final point to be gained. And that is the fastest lap of the race. And this is kind of what I was hoping for. I'm the only one left with good tires, because I'm the only one on hards at this moment. And we're going to try and snatch the fast lap here away. Freddie Rasmussen 28.361. We come across the line with a 28.300. And that gives us an extra point. However, Joni Tormola in P19 boxed for a new set of softs, and he is definitely going to take that fast lap away. And that's very unfortunate. I was kind of hoping he wasn't going to get it, because I saw him flashing, and we had a lot of ERS on the last lap, and DRS of course. But if you're on 17 lap old hards versus new softs, there's just not much you can do. And yeah, he gained so much. in cornering speed that he is going to get a fast lap here. Very unfortunate, because I would have loved to have that point. But yeah, very, very solid race, to be honest. From P9, 4 positions gained. Around Silverstone, it's always hard to gain positions. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, even though there was no sound, as you could see in the bottom left. I hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless. Make sure to like and subscribe for more F1 Esports content, which is going to be absolutely lit, coming your way in the next few weeks. See you guys next time. Ciao.